Hey everybody, it's Max. I'm here with another episode of Content Talk, where we talk to content creators and you get to hear about all the stuff that they create. So today we have one of my good friends, Nora. How's it going, Nora?
Hi, it's going quite well.
That's good, that's good. So we're just going to run down through some questions, and if there's any question you don't feel like answering for whatever reason, you don't have to.
I
And
seem to be a
yeah,
pretty open person, so yeah, we're good. We're good. We're
nice.
golden.
Cool. All right, so let's just start with pronouns, age, and like your general location on Earth.
Sure. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm 26 as of a few months ago, and I live in the Texas area of the United States, which is located on Earth.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what
It's a
kind of
pretty good planet.
content do you make?
Well, I make a lot of junk, and some good things. So basically, currently I'm working mainly on a comic called Failed Saves.
Mm.
It's a D&D based comic based on a D&D campaign that I'm running, um, and it's basically just recounting their tales in a humorous way. Um, and it's meant to be lighthearted and fun, but they get into some serious antics, and it's ramping up currently. Actually, the next comic is going to reveal some fun stuff. So, if you're listening, well, actually, this is probably coming out afterwards, but you all should know what's going on if you read it. There's that, and then I also make some YouTube videos sometimes. I make some music sometimes. I have a lot of things under my belt at this point.
That's very cool. Yeah, we've worked on some stuff together.
We have.
It's been pretty interesting. Definitely. You've streamed. You've done YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You also make music, right?
Yes, I make some general electronic style music along with like indie bedroom pop style stuff. I mainly just work with what I have and have fun messing around with genre stuff. So really,
Very cool.
it's hard to put myself into a genre other than independent, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I've also noticed on your Twitter you've been putting out some art. Is that just sort of like a warm up for your comic, or is that a thing that you're going to be pursuing?
I will say that generally, like when the majority of quarantine started, right?
Mm.
We're currently, for those of you listening far in the future, we're currently in the COVID-19 crisis. Amongst that, and near the beginning of that, a lot of stuff was happening in my life that kind of like threw a wrench into most of my life plans. And so I was without any kind of creative drive or motivation, and I looked at my Wacom tablet that I own currently, that I bought off a friend in like 2012 for $200 off. I don't actually remember how much it was, but it was cheap compared to what it originally cost.
Yeah.
Um, I bought it off him, and I would draw occasionally, but never really got it down. And I cracked it back out. I'm like, I'm gonna make a webcomic. I don't know how to draw well enough, so I basically like put myself into boot camp mode, trying all different kinds of drawing stuff. And then I started the comic when I felt I had at least enough of a grasp on the art that I wanted to do, and started doing that and using the comic to increase my own personal skill, and then also using my own like free time or whatever to draw like fan art and stuff that gets me motivated to draw, just to kind of get myself like to try to power my way through the early learning curve of art, because I used to draw as a kid, and so a lot of that is kind of coming back to me now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to boot myself back into at least a decent level of art currently.
Very nice. So so where did you get your start with content creation?
Okay, so this goes way back, and I'm not going
Mm.
to give you any specifics because this was back before I transitioned. If you
Uh-huh.
can't tell by my voice, I'm trans. To the people listening, but back in 2008, 2009,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was with a couple of my friends, and they had started making trampoline videos on
Hell yeah.
YouTube, like trampoline wrestling videos,
Mm-hmm.
and they invited me to be a member uh, and an actor, quote unquote, in their trampoline wrestling videos. And so I had a character, and I had like a catchphrase, and I would do some of the moves with them. And then I started taking on, and at that same time, they were also making music.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all shitty, like GarageBand loop style stuff.
Yeah.
And I started doing the same. And so I just joined in with my friends, and I'm like, wow, I really enjoy doing this. You know, like I really, really like it. Hang on, can we pause the interview? I'm getting a call.
Sure.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, back to the back to the interview. Yeah, so I started back then, and that was actually my start into creating stuff. Back in like 2008, to the early days of YouTube, when nobody was making any money and everybody was just doing stuff for fun. I think we got a large amount of subscribers for us. It was like 12,000.
Wow.
I know. For like back then times, we were like highballing it. Like we were like, yeah, we're so famous. You know, like like you know, little kids would be with that level of notoriety, I suppose you could say. But yeah, that's how I started up doing content, and then ever since I've just really enjoyed it. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, that's the end of that sentence.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody downstairs calling for me, but
oh, no worries.
Guess not. But anyway, so how did that like lead into what you're doing now?
So, well, there's a lot of ups and downs.
Right.
That was in like the middle school days or whatever for me, and then going into high school, I always wanted to make my own content, but I couldn't really until like I was allowed on my dad's computer like an hour a day or whatever to make GarageBand music, and that's what I did for a long time. I did that, and I played RuneScape, and those were my two activities on the computer. And so I would, excuse me, I would go and try to like sneak onto the computer to try and do more stuff like that. But then finally, I was able to get my own laptop, and it was a crappy 2004 MacBook. And I used iMovie and GarageBand on that old MacBook that would take 6 hours to render out a 2-minute video.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I would do my best to like try to make entertaining vlog content, just using the webcam on that crappy computer. And then finally I like would slowly buy up better things. I'm still using the microphone that I bought from that time period.
Oh, wow.
It's a Blue Snowball.
Nice.
And it has served me very, very well up to this point. Yeah, so there's that. I then went and got myself a flip cam. If you remember those flip cameras or whatever.
I had one.
They were good for the time.
Yeah, they were.
It turned a 2-minute 48p video into a 1080p video, or 480p, excuse me, into a 1080p, or however, whatever the pixel ratio is to that, 420 something. I don't fucking know. Blaze it. But it turned that into like an all-night rendering process for every video. So and then I'd have to make sure it would stay on. So I'd have to wake up every few hours so that my computer wouldn't go to sleep after the max like sleep setting, or else it would corrupt the video.
Yeah.
So I'd like on those days that I was rendering out, I wouldn't get much sleep. I tried to do like 2 videos a week or whatever for a little while, and then I just like that got unbearable because the editing was slow. And so I was making YouTube videos at the time. I was making music at that time and like working on my skills and whatever. And then like in high school, I never really got anywhere. I think I got my most off of a remix of a song. I'm not going to say which one, but I got a decent amount of views. And I also did like Slenderman reaction videos way back in the day too.
Oh, hell yeah. Getting in on that Slenderman ground floor.
Hell yeah. I didn't take that off anywhere, unfortunately. That didn't lead me into any success. But then, yeah, I sort of like on and off did the channel throughout my life. I wanted that to be my career, but I never got big enough to full-time pursue it as a career. And so through the ups and downs of my actual life, I just sort of continued to make content like almost nonstop. There'd be breaks where I'd be like, okay, I can't do anything right now. I have to focus on my real life, you know? But I'd always come back to it, and I'm still always coming back to it. I still like make content almost consistently. Like I like making things for people to see, you know?
Very nice. Very nice. So, so who do you make content for?
I could say the cheesy answer and say myself, but honestly, not really. If I was just making content for myself, I would just constantly be making really crappy EDM songs that sound similar to other EDM songs, because that's what I enjoy doing the most. But honestly, I make it for people who enjoy my brand of humor and are nice. Mainly my friends.
Yeah.
I really enjoy my friends liking my work. And there's a sense of validation that comes from that.
Yeah.
I understand that, seeking validation through your work isn't that great. And I understand like the pitfalls of that. But if I can make a friend laugh, I think that's a really positive experience. If I can make a friend like say, yeah, that was really cool, I enjoyed spending my time watching that thing, then that to me seems like a good investment in time for the amount of enjoyment that I got back out of it. And I enjoy vicariously a lot as well. So if somebody else is enjoying something a lot, I tend to enjoy it as well. So it helps me come to like a sense of positivity about my own work that I don't really feel as I'm working on it,
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Would you so you'd probably say that your stuff is for like a demographic of like people in their like 20s and 30s, probably?
I would say my demographic goes pretty far because it's relatively family friendly. It's not like 4 kids, but it's not like I curse a bunch in it.
Right.
And like, I don't know, some of my YouTube videos have curse words in it, so I guess there's a little bit older audience. But I think my demographic that I want to appeal to is people like me. I want to appeal to people who can't find content that isn't super edgy,
Yeah.
YouTube has a ton of edgy stuff right now. And like I personally just don't like that much. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not something I enjoy a ton. So I try to make content that's not wholesome, but isn't like I'm putting down other people.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make content that and since I'm trans, I try to be very like in tune with that sort of thing as well. Like I try to make content that other trans people would enjoy, but isn't like focused on the trans experience.
For sure.
Like, because I love content. I love content that is geared towards trans people and like the trans experience and relating to that and like kind of catharsis through that, But I also want to be able to find content that is made by other trans folk, other people of color. Like I'm not a person of color, but like people of color. I'm fucking white bread. But like I like those viewpoints, that stuff that's created by them but isn't necessarily about that experience. Like, yeah, I draw on your own experiences, of course, but like I enjoy the escapism from people who need to escape the same things I need to escape,
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the kind of content I want to make. And while I know other people like cis people and other white people can enjoy my work just fine as well, like I'm not necessarily making it for them, but I'm not saying, hey, if you're white, don't watch my stuff. That's stupid.
Right.
Like I definitely enjoy like sharing my work with a ton of people, but I want to share it. I want to specifically make it so that other people like myself can enjoy it.
So, I mean, you've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but why do you make your content? Like, why do you make your videos, your music, your comic?
I think I make it because I have an urge to make things. And originally it was, I want to be famous.
Yeah.
That was my original drive as like a teenager. I want to be famous. I want to be able to make money making things. And that was like the root of it. I want to make a living doing this because I love this, and that was the start of it. And so I kept trying to figure out how to turn it into a business. And I still do that to a degree. Like I still try to market myself in ways and whatnot, because if you just put things out there with no marketing, it's not going to get seen. And while that's fulfilling to create something, it's not going to get me out of a job at a fast food place,
For sure.
So if I want to just do this for a living, I have to market it, kind of thing. And so I carried around a lot of that. Like, why am I not big enough yet? Why am I not making this a living? I carried around that in my brain a lot. And that really tore me down. But now I think I've gotten to a point where if I don't make it big with this, that's fine. I'm still going to try. I'm still going to try to make this my living. I still want this to be my living. But if I don't get there, I have a path to sustain myself and enjoy life without having to make it right now, like,
Yeah.
because you hear stories of those like musicians or whatever. It's like, I sold everything and I put all my effort into making music 24/7 just to make it, and I was like starving and living in my car, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I've been homeless. I don't like it. I don't want to be at that point again. I'm going to try and live, like, I don't have to live grand. I just want to have a place to rest my head, feed my cat, feed myself, and be clothed, and work on, and for me, work on transition. But like, I want to get to a point where I'm okay if this doesn't make it, like,
Yeah.
but I still want to make it, like, I don't see it as any less valid to try and take care of yourself while trying to pursue your dreams, And so that's currently why I work on these things.
Just knowing you, I'm honestly a little surprised by the end of your answer right there. Just because, like, before, when you'd been working on other projects, it was very much, well, it seemed to me very much like you were trying to make your money doing
I'm still
stuff
trying
online.
to. I absolutely am still trying to make my money online. Like, I do make some money online. I do commissions. I do like, I do have my Patreon. I've got people have donated money to me for the work that I've done, and like, that's great. But it's not like as sustainable as making it like, I guess you could say a career, in the sense that I'm constantly uploading content and people are consistently paying me for it. The thought behind that is like YouTube ad revenue and Patreons and ad deals and such like that. The current how you make money online spiel. I would love to do it if I just had like just enough. I was making just enough on my Patreon or whatever, and just those fans liked my stuff and like wanted my stuff. I'd be perfectly happy. I don't have to be super famous anymore. Like that kind of. And I'm constantly trying to make, like, I'm constantly in my brain, I'm like, okay, how can this thing that I really love doing also earn me money so I can keep doing it, Because right now, most of my time is taken up by how do I survive, right?
Right.
I'm still in that mindset of I can't go homeless again. I don't want to be homeless again. So everything I create, while I'm really enjoying, like, I love making this comic. It is so much fun to do the panels and like write the stuff from the games down, and like, so a lot of it is kind of taken a little secret for the comic or whatever. A lot of it isn't like cut wholesale. I do some edits to make it flow a little better. And make the jokes kind of hit more, because like that specific thing wasn't said, but it's the gist of what was said. So I write it like this to be funny, So it is based on my D&D game. It is not a retelling exactly of my D&D game, or the D&D game that I'm running as the DM. But like a lot of the jokes in there come from like recurring jokes in the D&D group that we're doing. So like, I'm doing D&D, and while I'm technically turning that into something that could make money, I'm still like, I don't pollute the actual D&D game with any of that, right? So I'm just having fun with friends with that. But then like, I asked permission and everybody said it was cool. So I took that and turned it into a comic, which I can potentially profit from, right?
Very nice.
So like, yes, I am definitely pushing to try and make this a living. I want to enjoy life on the way to getting there, I don't want to constantly I hate constantly being worried, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that.
So who or what inspires you? I think I could probably guess one group of people that inspires you.
What was that then?
I think it might be the Mcelroy Brothers.
Yeah, well, definitely, yes. Their jokes, they are some of my favorite content creators, period. The Mcelroy Brothers. Yeah, so they're great. I can go down a list, to be honest.
Sure. And maybe give like a little detail about why they inspire you.
So Mcelroy Brothers inspire me mainly because they're so funny, but they're not mean ever.
Right.
Like in their early episodes of A Bim Bam, they were mean occasionally and would riff on certain people, but like they got called out on it and they immediately changed for the better, right? Like they're family of products, I guess you could say, and they're definitely doing the thing that I want to do. They are monetizing the things that they love to do.
Yeah,
and that is where I want to get 100%. Like, that is the kind of stuff that I adore. And they are making it work. And so I'm obviously using them as sort of a model for what I want to get towards. But like the McElroys are a great inspiration. As far as musically, I really like Brockhampton. That entire group is great because it's very inspiring to me. Like, a bunch of friends got together and made it big. And I love working with other people. Like, you can attest to that. I enjoy.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy working with you. I enjoy working with other people. And like the collaborative aspect of creating a product that you couldn't create on your own is amazing to me. I love doing that. Let's see, a couple other people, some smaller people. Evan is his name. He is from the YouTube series, what is it, Everyman Hybrid, and it is a Slenderman series. It was one of the 3 like kickstart like of the genre Slenderman series, right? And it recently finished, and he's the guy who played Habit. And he's an incredible actor, and he's a super kind dude. I follow him on Twitter. And so, like, just the way that he acts and the way that, like, they talk about how they created their thing together is super inspiring for me. And I know that's a kind of a weird reach for that one. But, like, if I want to go and see some cool stuff, I'll rewatch some Everman Hybrid stuff and, like, get inspired to continue, like, working on whatever, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just think whatever inspires you. It doesn't even really need to be super related to what you want to make.
Yeah, and like, I'm not making a horror YouTube series. It'd be cool one day, but like, I'm not. I don't have any immediate plans to do so, you know. But I really do like enjoy that kind of like. You get what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Steam Powered Giraffe is a big one for me because
that was another one I was gonna guess.
Yeah, Steam Powered Giraffe is a big one for me because like that entire group, it started by 2 twins. One of them is trans. Obviously, I feel that connection hardcore. And like they've had rotating cast members.
Who are they?
Like,
just for those that don't.
Oh, they are a steampunk band.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely go look them up. Steam Powered Giraffe. They have some amazing tunes, like across all different kinds of genres. So Isabella and David are the twins, and they've had like other members come and go from their like group or whatnot. But they have like a deep lore for their stuff, and like creating one product that spans that deep and that long is incredibly inspiring to me too, because I like really long going projects. And I like series and stuff like that you can really dig into. And one day I would love to create that kind of thing. Like one big, long project, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's something that like I always have running in the back of my head. And I'm trying to think of an idea that would be good over a long period of time, you know? And we've had a couple of ideas like that. That I'd love to get back to eventually. But we may do it with a different one for me or whatever, but I'm not going to dig into that because that's still spoiler territory right there. And then there's Snapcube or Penny. She's a trans YouTuber that does like a bunch of different content on YouTube and is super inspiring to me because like she's doing what I wanted to do. And I think she's probably like 19 or 20, young, and like succeeding at that kind of thing. And I'm like, it's like very much a you go girl kind of thing, I guess.
What kind of videos does she make?
So she does like Let's Plays, and she does streaming, and she does what's called real-time fan dubs, which is basically where they will take all the cutscenes from a game and mute it, and then do live commentary as the characters, creating a narrative that way.
That's a cool idea.
And if you know the meme, this is going to get a little raunchy. Shadow pissed on my wife.
I do not know that meme.
I'm here to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch ass motherfucker. He pissed on my wife. I definitely recommend looking that up. It's very, very funny. But Penny and Alfred and like that whole crew are very funny. And Alfred works on cartoons now, or he has been. He's still with the crew or whatever, but he's also working on cartoons. And then there are other like YouTube OGs that I follow that have been doing stuff forever, like Game Grumps. I really like. and of course Ninja Sex Party, because musically that's really fun to get into. Basically, any YouTuber that I've been following forever, Neil Cicierega, is another big one. He's the man behind Harry Potter Puppet Pals and the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, and he has done a ton of music stuff, and he's done a ton of video stuff. And like his face is very rarely attached to them, but he almost always finds success just because the stuff he creates is so good. And so he's like one of probably like the most inspiring like creators out there too for a lot of people. Like he's like your content creator's favorite content creator.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, you know, those rappers that are your rapper's favorite rapper or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's the content creator's favorite content creator.
It kind of makes me think of like, you know how like Stephen King or like other famous writers will like write a new novel that gets super like it gets super popular even though they're not using their real name or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a
like
similar
authors
kind of thing.
that are just able to write good stuff no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's that kind of stuff. Like that's always like, and he just keeps creating shit. Like he's constantly just fucking going with that stuff. And like there's very little out there about him that I can find, at least. Like he's got some stuff out there about him. And he did like a TED Talk, I think, at one point, but that like talked a little bit more about him. But like he's usually pretty secluded, and like that adds that layer of mystery to him, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so I think I've gone enough into like what kind of inspires me. I am expired now. No, stuff that inspires me. But yeah, there's a lot out there.
Yeah, definitely. So, this is kind of an odd question.
Sure.
How seriously do you approach content creation? Like, do you see it like as a career or like a hobby?
I think I may have answered this pretty much at the moment.
Yeah.
I see creating content as a potential career.
Okay.
Right now, it's not.
Right.
And I don't know what steps I need to take to get it to be a career, other than the ones I'm currently taking that are a lot of luck based. I'm trying to network. I'm trying to all that jazz, you know. I don't know how good I am at it. Obviously, I'm not good enough to have made it yet, but that could just be I haven't caught the right hook or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this is luck based too. Like so many people are making content nowadays that if you get big, it's pretty much like if you're doing all the right things and you get lucky, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like a lot of people are doing all the right things, but just don't get lucky. So I'm trying to do all the right things, and I'm just hoping that one day I do get lucky, kind of thing, you know. I don't want to get viral big though, you know. I want to stay cult,
like in your community or whatever.
Yeah, in my community, cult classic big. Like enough to make a living off of it, and enough to really be satisfied with the level of creation that I've been doing, but not like so big that like it attracts a bunch of people that despise me, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that perfect quote unquote level or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be haters, and it's not like I don't get those now. It's easier to ignore because I'm smaller. But like, yeah. So I take it very seriously. To answer your question, you take it pretty seriously.
This question, I think you've already kind of answered too. But what is your goal with your content? It's just to like eventually.
Yeah, it's eventually to make a living,
I guess.
Yeah, it's eventually to make it my living. Like if I am not working for another person, like it's very similar to how a lot of small business owners currently work, right? They want to own their own business. They want to control the things that they do with their life, right?
Right.
That's what I want to do as well. I just don't know how to run a business, like a full-on business, you know, with a storefront and all that jazz. So, and I don't have the means to do that, but I have the means to create content. So I do.
For sure.
And I want to be able to continue to do this thing that I love doing. Like I love making music. I love making comics. I love making like all this stuff. Like I jump back and forth all the time between different stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But like I want to be able to live off of it, you know? I want to be able to do this and have enough people enjoy it and say, yes, I will give you $1 or $2 a month. Have enough of that to be able to pay bills and not have to worry about not going into a job, you know?
Definitely.
Because all I'm qualified for is being a shift lead at a fast food place at the moment. So,
Yep. So, what project are you most proud of?
most proud of? I don't
Yes.
know.
Okay, next question.
I'm trying to think on that, actually.
Sure.
There's a lot of projects that I put a lot of work into that have never seen the light of day that I'm very proud of, but just aren't going to exist, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there aren't very many like long-term projects that I'm super proud of. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of being a member of certain communities more than I am of the content I've created.
Okay.
Like I guess I've talked to you a little bit about the video game Squidlet,
Oh yeah.
made by Alex Barrett. Go buy it. It's very cool. I am currently on the testing team of the Super Squidlet, which is the second in the series that's coming out. So I'm beta testing that, or alpha testing, I think. It's currently in alpha. But I'm currently alpha testing that, and I was the first person to ever speedrun that game. I was the person who created the speedrun.com page and created the Discord, and like I have a tutorial series on speedrunning it. So like anybody who wants to speedrun it, they go and they watch that series of videos and they learn how to how to uh, how to speedrun the game really quickly. And like the top runner for that game in the world currently played Squidlet at GDQ, and he learned how to run off of my tutorials.
Wow, that's really cool.
And like, yeah, so I'm proud of being a founding member of that community quite a bit. And while I'm not making content for it anymore, I'm still like in the Discord and I'm still talking and I'm still like cheering on the newbies that are running and whatnot. Because I'm not a good speedrunner, but I really enjoy that kind of like community that's there.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that. That's something I'm very proud of, but I wouldn't say it's my most proud project because I didn't like create it. I was just kind of a member of it, you know?
Yeah.
There's that. There's a couple of things that have earned like accolades in my past that I kind of that I am proud of. I don't think I have one shining piece yet of thing that I'm proud of, you know?
What about your comic though? I
I'm
feel
proud
like
of it. Oh, I'm absolutely proud of my comic, but I
yeah.
wouldn't say it's my best.
Okay.
Mainly because I think like I'm not to the art level that I want to be at yet. I chose a purposely simple style so that I could produce it well every time. But I'm challenging myself on like the angles and the background and the like trying to make it look visually interesting every panel, and it's not just from the waist up every single time, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it visually interesting in that and challenge myself that way, but I'm not like they don't have hands. They have blobs, which is I chose legitimately on purpose so that I didn't have to waste hours and hours drawing hands every single time I drew a comic, you know? And that was a deliberate choice because I'm not great at hands. I've been practicing hands on and off, but I'm not like if I want to make consistent content, I can't catch myself up on the things that I can't focus on hands in my comic. Like I'm not going to make a hand comic because that would take me 6 months to get out the next episode because I wouldn't be good enough at it yet, you know?
Yeah.
So I chose what I'm already decent at, and I'm working on honing that to make something that I hope enough people enjoy, you know?
What about I'm just thinking of projects now that I know you've completed. What about the video game that you made? The little video game.
I don't know if I'm necessarily proud of that.
Uh-huh.
It was very cathartic to make,
Yeah.
right? So a little backstory about this. I made a video game based on my experience with my relatively abusive religious background. And it didn't get released to the world. I did stream it a little bit, stream the creation process of it a little bit. I voice acted. I made all the art for it. I did all the coding, of course, with the help of like online tutorials, as you would expect. But I basically made that to kind of get that out. And it's a piece of crap. It's a crap game. I would never sell that game. But it was very cathartic to make because I finally got to create it and just get it out, you know? It wasn't meant for anyone else. It was meant to get that thought of that game out of my head, you know? And I did it, and I succeeded in that, and I finished it, and I'm proud of that. Like, I'm proud that I finished it, but it's not like my best. It's definitely not my best work. It's probably one of my worst works.
I thought it was really good, but
I mean, it's not something I would feel comfortable charging anyone any amount of money to play.
right.
And giving it away for free kind of exposes me to a lot of the, oh, it's just another free game. Oh, this is shitty. Oh, and then ripping it apart,
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that, Plus, it costs $100 to get the licensing fee from Game Maker.
Yeah.
So I'm not spending $100 to give away that game for free.
And if you wanted to release it on Steam, it's like another $100.
Yeah, I'm not spending that kind of money on that thing that was meant to give me cathartic release,
Yeah.
So.
All right. So here's my last question for you.
Okay.
Where do you see your content in 5 years?
Hopefully still in existence. Like, I want to continue to make content through that time. I know it's going to be better. My goal is by 5 years, I'm already making it a living. I'm not working anywhere else, and I'm using that to pay for my expenses. I'm living in an apartment. I've got my computer's all set. I'm not like worried about it breaking down or anything. I've got all of the stuff that I need, and my content is looking great. And I've been working on comics for 5 years, and I'm well known in the community of comic makers or whatever. That's the realist. That's not the realistic. That's the dream. The realistic answer is I'm going to still be making comics. I'm still going to be making videos. I'm still going to be making music. Whatever my audience base is what it is, But I'm still doing it, That's where I want my content to be. I want to still be doing it.
Yeah.
I never want to, because I've flirted with giving up a lot throughout my time making stuff, But you don't make it if you give up.
Right.
And so I've not, mainly because I want to see it through. And eventually, if you keep rolling the dice enough, you're going to land on a natural 20. And hopefully I'll get my nat 20 eventually. So
there you go. All right. Well, is there anything you want to plug?
I think I've plugged enough of my stuff at this point. go follow Failed Saves on Failed Saves on Webtoons, FAILED space SAVES, or at Failed Saves on Instagram or Twitter.
Very nice. Well, thanks for coming on, Nora.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for letting me talk about myself for however long this has been. Almost an hour.
All right. Well, make sure to subscribe and follow and all that good stuff, and to check out Nora's stuff. I'll have that down in the description. Make sure. What?
Don't forget to be cool and give Max all your money.
There you go. Give me your money, and I will see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.